Hello everybody, this is Scent Vibes. Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be reviewing a fragrance by Xerjoff, and that fragrance is Tony Iommi's Monkey Special. So we're going to go ahead and get into this full review. I'm glad you guys came back and watched another video of mine. I really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's have some fun. So, Tony Iommi's fragrance came out last year. It's a fragrance that was talked about by some reviewers, and I became aware of it recently. It went over my head. I mean, I'm not always paying attention to every single review out there, but I'm just now getting my hands on this fragrance. Let me know if you guys have actually gotten your hands on the fragrance, and comment below what your thoughts are on this fragrance. But Tony Iommi's fragrance is a fragrance that is based on a guitar artist, and the fragrance, and I want to say a thank you to a Instagram follower contact, Tony Lifestyle Sense. He basically educated me on this because I could not tell, and I think I might need eyeglasses, y'all.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story I'm sticking to.
But on the bottle, there is a monkey on it. What you will see here, I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'm gonna try to let that focus in. Can you see that? All right, so on the bottle there's a monkey, and basically the monkey is on Tony Iommi's guitar, and he called his guitar the Monkey Special. So hence the fragrance is why it's called Tony Iommi's Monkey Special. Now you can get this bottle for around $235 retail. If you pay attention to some discounters, they will sell this fragrance, and sometimes you can get it for less than $200 if you're lucky. You only can get this in a 50 ml bottle, but the fragrance does come in two different bottles. So you get this one, and then there's a black bottle that is a signature edition that has his initials on it, but you got to pay to play with that one, and you basically have to be a big Tony Iommi fan to actually want to pay for that bottle. So it's $550 retail.
It's expensive.
Let's go ahead and get into the notes of this fragrance. So with the top notes, you have bergamot, rum, Bulgarian geranium, passion fruit, and in the heart notes you have cinnamon, patchouli from Singapore, and leather. And in the base notes you have sandalwood, vanilla, caramel, labdanum, and musk. So let me go ahead and spray it for you guys. Oh my gosh. So if you guys saw my first impressions, you know that I really love this fragrance. In my opinion, has not changed from beginning to end. Top notes, middle notes, base notes, I love them all. Now this fragrance opens up with a nice blast of booziness, nice blast of fruitiness, nice blast of patchouli in the fragrance, some slight woodiness in the opening, some slight spices in the opening, and it actually has a little floral touch, and has a rose. That floral touch is the rose. You do pick up on the rose, but it's not like a super floral rose. It's floral, but it's like a fresh or like an airy type of floral, if that makes any sense. But man, this stuff is so well done. The perfumer, Chris Maurice, did a really great job on this fragrance. He's not just worked on Xerjoff fragrances, he's worked on fragrance across the board from different houses. And then when this fragrance basically dries down, you start to pull away from the booziness. And you know, I wanted to be upset at that because I love the opening so much, but fragrances do have to transition, and that's what brings life to different fragrances. You don't want fragrances to just be linear, because eventually you're going to get bored with the fragrance. So basically the fragrance dries down to become more of like a slightly gourmandish type of fragrance, because that caramel is in the base notes. So it's sweet, spicy, a little musky, and you still pick up on that a little bit of the passion fruit and that cinnamon. So man, this fragrance is really rugged fragrance. You do pick up on that leather in the beginning too. You feel, kind of edgy, and this is a fragrance made after a rock star, so it kind of makes sense the route that they went with it. and it's a very well done fragrance. I can't say that enough. Now with the performance, let's go ahead and talk about that. Now with the performance of the fragrance lasts for a very good amount of time. It's not like it's not overboard, or it's not doing anything like extra, but it does its job. I believe this fragrance on my skin lasts about 7 to 8 hours. That's around that time frame where I was like around a 7 to 8 hour time frame is when it basically goes away. And when I first spray this thing on, you get a very solid projection out of this fragrance for about 2 hours on my skin. It does start to recede and die down, maybe 2.5 hour time frame. It starts to die down and recede closer, but you're getting well past arm's length of projection off my skin. Some people said, I've heard that some people say it doesn't necessarily project all that well for them, but from what some people are also saying is that this fragrance doesn't necessarily do really well in cold environments. So I think it needs a little bit of heat to kind of react with the fragrance. So maybe if you're like in a tropical environment like me, or if you're just, in a moderate environment such as like the middle of the United States, Kentucky on down, or something like that, where it's in the fall it's not so cold, you're gonna get some a good projection out of this fragrance. It does eventually start to recede back to a skin scent after like 2-3 hours, but you still pick up on the fragrance, you still can smell it, but not too many people far away from you are going to be able to smell it basically. But you get a really good sillage, great performance with this fragrance. And I want to tell you again, like, this fragrance does react to heat. So even though it starts to recede to a skin scent and you feel like you're not really picking it up at some points, you start to move around a little bit and you're like, oh, okay, well, the fragrance is still there. So, but eventually that does call it quits around that 7 to 8 hour mark. Now let's go ahead and talk about the character. This fragrance is really, really nice. I love this fragrance. This does a really good job with switching it up from the opening and the dry down, so it has a little bit of character in that facet. And then it also has some character as far as a boozy scent. Like, man, this stuff smells really good. Character is definitely there. It's a very unique fragrance to my nose. Now let's jump into appeal. Now guys, this fragrance, I believe, okay, so the weekend that I was testing this fragrance, my wife, my sister-in-law and her friends and a cousin came into town, all females, staying at our place, and I sprayed it on for them, and they all loved it. Not a single person said they didn't like this fragrance. So I'm gonna say this fragrance is a mass appealing fragrance, even though it's unique, but I believe it's mass appealing. Guys, if you're looking for certain boozy fragrances, such as a fragrance like Naxos is amazing fragrance. Also, this is an amazing fragrance. This fragrance is a boozy fragrance also by the brand of Xerjoff. And if you're looking for a boozy fragrance, you're not gonna get 100 ml of Tony Iommi's, but this fragrance, honestly, to me, it smells better than Xerjoff's Naxos. So if you guys are looking for a boozy scent, this one's gonna be appealing to you. If you guys are looking for a great date night scent, this is gonna be a great fragrance for you as well. You guys can't go wrong with this fragrance. You can rock this fragrance dressed up as also. Like, people will love this fragrance around you. And this fragrance will really do well in certain environments. Office environments, I'm gonna say you're gonna have to be just based on how I've been testing the fragrance, the environment that I am, my skin chemistry. I don't know how it's gonna be. It might be a little too loud, at least in the opening, those first 2 hours. But eventually it's gonna die down, and you might get away with it in the office environment. But just be wary if you're trying to, buy a fragrance like this for the office. Seasons, I believe you can. I've been wearing this in the mild, fall environment. For Florida, right now it's like low 80s, for the most part, high 70s, and we're still getting warm weather. So I've been enjoying it in this climate. But I believe this fragrance is really, it could definitely work in other fall environments. I believe it possibly can work in winter environments, but some people say it hasn't done too well for them. So I would caution you. So guys, get a sample of it. Get a sample of it, see if you're gonna enjoy it. Now, value, guys, I didn't get the full presentation. This is what I got. This is my box, just to show you guys what a Xerjoff pack box looks like. I just want to show you guys what a Xerjoff presentation is going to look like. So you basically get a very nice leather. I'm not sure if this is 100% leather, but it feels really nice. It opens up here just like this, sort of like a coffin type of feel. You open it and you get a nice cloth overwrapping the fragrance. And again, mine was a tester, so this is not how the box is going to look. It's a black box, but that's the Xerjoff presentation that you're going to get. So you're going to get a high quality presentation if that's something that you care about. The fragrance juice, there's value in that. You're going to smell unique. You're going to smell different than most people around you. So there's value in that. But the fragrance is expensive. $235 for this 50 ml. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow. However, if you can get it discounted, do so. Now, overall, guys, you know that I love this fragrance. You can't go wrong with this one. This is the best boozy scent in my collection. I have a couple of boozy scents. It's one of my favorite scent profiles outside of tobacco-y scents. Guys, this fragrance will do you well for projection, but I believe you should test it out for yourself. Get a sample and test it out for yourself, because some people have stated that didn't necessarily project for them. Guys, I'm rating this fragrance a 10 out of 10. This is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I don't hesitate saying that at all. This fragrance is a banger. I love it so much, but I really want to know if you guys love it too. So comment in this comment section below. Let's engage down there. Let's converse and just figure out what's going on with this fragrance for your noses. All right, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this review of Xerjoff's Monkey Special by Tony Iommi. I'm glad you guys stopped by. Thank you for checking out the channel again. Until next time, signing off. Deuces.